Hello and welcome to this week's weekly knit chit chat. If you're not familiar with me, I am Jessica, the knitting pattern designer and design mentor behind Snickerdoodle Knits and the Design Circle. I'm the facilitator of the Design Circle. And each week I try to go live Friday afternoons to just hang out and knit and chat. And hello and welcome to everybody who's joining. How fun to have you here live. Hello, Marie Elise. So this is just a chance where we hang out and we talk about knitting. So what do you have on your needles right now? Are you working on knitting something? I was hoping to have a project on my needles that I don't have. This is the yarn for it. This is Hand Dyed Diva, local yarn dyer to me. And I'm especially loving these colors, of course. But it's supposed to be for the Innermood Cowl. If you've been paying attention to my stories, you might have seen that the Innermood Shawl is now available. It's only available in Ravelry so far, just because it's been hectic. But I designed the Innermood Shawl for the local yarn shop. Actually, the same people that dye this yarn. They're celebrating 5 years, so it's their birthday party this weekend. So the sample is actually there at the shop, and I can't show it to you, but I did go ahead and pull up a picture so I could show you this way. Anyway, I wanted to say this is a Ravelry picture, so if you have problems with Ravelry, I apologize. But this is the Innermood Shawl, and this is actually a different version here. So if you haven't heard about the Innermood Shawl, I think I've talked about it on a few different of these weekly knit chit chats, but the idea is basically it's a choose your own adventure style. So like if you've read a book that's like a choose your own adventure, that you like get to decide how the next thing plays out and you go to the next part of the book and then continue the journey. So the Innermood Shawl, it has 4 different stitch motifs. But you get to choose which yarn weight you use, you get to choose how many colors you use, you get to choose how often you want to change your colors, you get to choose which stitches you use and how often you change those stitches. So they're 8-row repeats, and I have all those instructions in the pattern. But then you choose, according to your mood, what you feel like knitting to create your shawl. And then also in the pattern, if that's not your style, I do have 8 design recommendations plus the instructions for the 2 that I knit. So if you'd rather follow a pattern, those instructions are in there. But that was a lot of fun. So then the Innermood Cowl, these colors that I was showing, it's the same idea, but it's a cowl. So actually, I haven't done the math yet, but you'll have even more flexibility. I don't know if you'll be able to change it any row, but you'll have more flexibility on when you change between stitch motifs, because with the shawl, with the increases in the shawl, it has to be the 8-row repeats for some of the stitches. But with the cowl, there won't be increases or decreases. And so I think you would be able to change it every row if you wanted to. But there is a pre-order available for this on Ravelry. Also, if you buy any of my collections, you get 15% off the patterns. So if you buy the Innermood collection, it has the shawl and the cowl for 15% off. So then with that, you would just receive the pattern for the cowl as soon as it's out. But I want to do a provisional cast on, and every time I grab my bag, I don't have a crochet hook or waste yarn or anything like that to do my provisional cast on. So that's why I'm not working on that project. I do have another sample of the Innermood Shawl that I had started. I could maybe actually work on this one. I've got my yarn all over the place, but this is a fingering weight version. So the actual design sample for the shawl is DK weight. The blue version is Aran weight. and this is fingering weight. That's the wrong side, this is the right side. But this is a version, so you can see it has garter, it has the drop stitches, it has simple lace, mesh, and then the other motif is, it's called garter rib, but it's actually the wrong side of the garter rib, so I called it inside out garter rib. Anyway, I don't know if I need to finish this lace or if I need to go into garter right now, so maybe I shouldn't work on that one. But what are you, I know Marie Elise had said she's knitting the forager, light sweater, and tippy trees, tracking a woozle, just started yesterday. What is the forager light? I feel like I should know what it is, but I don't remember, like who designed it or what texture does it use, or and tracking a woozle, is that like a grayish, not gray, like more yellowish, kind of a more neutral kind of color? Actually, I could pull that up. I remember looking for it because I've done multiple, Marie Elise knows, but I've done multiple collaborations with Tippy Tree Yarns, so I always look up Tiffany is the owner. I always look up her colors as I'm looking for additional color recommendations, and so I know I've seen it before. Oh, I'm not finding it on her website. You've probably already commented by now. It's a cream with blue and yellow speckles. Okay, it's not the color I was thinking it was. I don't know what one that was, but I think it's also from the Winnie the Pooh collection. That sounds really pretty. Oh, it's a pattern by Isabel Kramer. That makes sense. And I noticed when you said, when I was showing the Innermood Shawl, it's beautiful colors. Yes, I love those colors. The this is a Ravelry photo, so I apologize. But, oh, let's get the right one. Yeah. These colors. It's like aqua blue turquoise with a really deep purple, and then it's like this light gray that has just like speckles through it. I love those colors. So I know I've talked about this before, but I'm trying to work more with colors that I really love, and for me that's usually grays, purples, and blues. But yes, I love those colors. That's kind of one of my favorite shawls now, especially because of the colors, but also I love those big huge shawls. And it's so cozy. It's DK, that one's the DK weight version, and it's squishy, so yes, I love it. The other pattern that's actually now available, I'm not technically going to launch it or whatever until fall because we're going into spring now, but it is available for purchase on Ravelry. It's the Jazz It Up shawl that I designed for Tippy Tree Yarns, Mystery Knit Along, inspired by Ella Fitzgerald. Marie Elise actually test knit it, and she shared about it on her profile today. But she used the same colors I did from Tiffany. But here's a Ravelry photo again. I apologize, I don't have my photos anywhere else yet. But it's a kite-shaped shawl. And it's DK weight, of course. I love my DK weight. But it used 100 grams of DK weight of the blue. Let's grab another photo of it stretched out here. Again, this is still a Ravelry photo. But 100 grams of the blue, 100 grams of the green, and then the center colors, sometimes, especially right now when it's so far zoomed out, those are actually two different colors, but you could do the same one. So this used 50 grams of each, but you could do 3 colors, 100 grams each for the shawl. And I just thought it was such a fun knit. It's primarily garter. There's some changing back and forth between the colors to create those stripes. And then there's a little bit of lace, but it's I don't remember how long the repeat is. But it's a relatively simple, the stitch repeat is only 4 stitches. And just kind of get into a groove, and so I really enjoyed the knit, and I know my test knitters also really enjoyed the knit. It seems like they just blew through it because it's just an addicting knit. And Tiffany, also the yarn dagger, worked through it, and thought the same thing. So it's a really fun knit. It is available now on Ravelry for purchase. Actually, I shared it in my stories today, so there's a link in my stories to purchase it if you're interested. So those are my recent designs that I haven't hardly even been talking about because there's been so much else going on. Does anybody else have knitting projects that they're working on that they'd like to share? The project that I actually plan to work on is the same project you have seen since I started these weekly knit chats back in January. And that's about the only time I work on it. It is my Maema Cardigan, which is designed by Megan Nodecker, which is Pip and Pin on Instagram. Let me see, I've got my yarn wrapped up all weird here. Oh, and I have, it's not helpful. Okay, this is what it looks like anyway, so far. Here's the right side. It's got this really fun texture. So this is the back panel, and then also the front panels right here are this texture. And I'm knitting it up in this really pretty deep purple. I think it's called Eggplant from Malabrigo. I don't have the yarn label in here, but here's the yarn just in a skein. It often almost looks like black on the screen, but it's a purple. It's definitely a purple, but yeah, so that's what I'm working on. How's your week been? I often like to start these chats asking how your week is, and do you have 3 words to share about your week? How would you describe your week in 3 words? I did write down my 3 words. What did I come up with? I came up with exciting, tiring, and priorities for my words. So I've been working on some big projects, not getting as much sleep as I should have, because I'm really excited about the projects, and because I have some deadlines coming up. So I've been working on, I've done some with the Innermood Shawl stuff this week because I had a bunch of stuff to get ready for the yarn shop and publishing the pattern, wrapping stuff up with test knitting. But more than that, I've been working on the book that we're trying to put together inside the design circle. So we're still very much in the admin part of how's this all going to work? What's the cost analysis? How are we collecting design submissions? All of that kind of stuff that kind of needs to be finalized today. So I'm going to be working more on that once I get off this call. But that's been a lot of my time this week. It's a lot of fun, really excited about it, but I finally realized I maybe need to have some boundaries on how much time I spend on this. And then what else? There was another big thing. Oh, the doors to my design circle are currently open. So I'm in what's considered the launch phase, where I'm supposed to be talking a lot about it. And I've been so busy with the book that I haven't been putting as much effort into the launch as I would like to have. Anyway. So that's what I've been working on this week. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? So I was part of the Innermood Shawl release was that I was at the yarn shop on Monday and was on a podcast with them and some of the other designers, 2 other designers that they have patterns from in the shop for the birthday celebration. So I suppose I'll link to that in the description of this video, because when you watch the replay, you can click the links. That's a really cool thing about video on Instagram, is that the links are actually clickable. So I can share that podcast episode from Cheers to You is the yarn shop. They call it Craft Talk Explore is their podcast on YouTube, but I can share the link to that on YouTube. And basically we talked about designing, we talked about knitting, we talked about different patterns that we have there in the shop, and of course I show the Innermood Shawl, all of the different samples, because now they're over there. And so that was Monday. And then of course I've been working on the collaborations and lots of calls and things like that. Today so you know how I've been doing the featured designers every month here on Instagram. I had reached out probably in January to Mika of Salt and Stone Knits on Instagram. I had found her patterns originally when she released the Hurling socks. Actually, I'll look those up real quick and I'll show you a picture because I'm showing pictures. It will also be on Ravelry. So I apologize for anyone who isn't able to use Ravelry, you know, as far as looking at it even here on the screen. But here, this is the picture. I think you can see that pretty well. They're shorty socks that have some texture and then also has like a ribbing around kind of the center of the foot. What? I don't know technical words of the parts of the foot. But anyway, I thought they were super cute. They've been on my queue. Maybe I'll actually get them knit before I host her on here on Instagram for live. But she's supposed to be the guest in May. She was traveling and stuff last month, so I was going to have her in February, but she requested May instead. So I'll have her in May, and she thought it would be fun to just have a Zoom call where we just hung out and chatted and got to know each other a little bit, and it was a lot of fun. So I talked to her this morning, and you know, it was our first time really connecting, and it's fun how when you share different interests and passions with people, you can just like connect so easily and start sharing ideas and all sorts of things. So that was fun. And then, yeah, I guess I just came from the massage, so that was good. That was fun, especially after how hectic this week was. It was good to relax a little bit. And now I'm here. So Marie Elise shared for her 3 words, COVID, isolation, and now freedom. Did you get sick, Marie Elise? I don't remember. I'm sorry if I missed that. But yay for freedom. And she also had said how exciting, I think that was about the book. Yes, it's all exciting. You were sick. Oh my goodness. I'm glad. I'm assuming you're doing better. Sorry to hear that. But now we're fine. Good. If anybody else wants to share what they're knitting on, what kind of projects you've been working on, even if you're not knitting on it right now, or what you've recently finished, feel free to share that. This is all about chatting, so I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and the other thing is, if you want to share how your week's been, what's been happening, and how would you describe your week? Has it been good? Has it been rough? Are you excited for the weekend? It's Friday. So then tomorrow, actually, since today is Friday, the yarn shop birthday celebration at Cheers to You yarn shop local to me here in Charlotte area. Their birthday celebration is today and tomorrow. So I'm going to be at the yarn shop pretty much all day tomorrow for the birthday celebration. So that'll be fun. If you're local to the area, definitely come hang out. That'll be fun. My samples, how many samples do they have? They maybe have like 6 to 8 of my pattern designs, my samples there. My samples will be there for a couple more weeks, but I will be there tomorrow. Yeah. Let's see, what else has been happening? I started a new Instagram account. So it's been interesting since I realized how much I love working with designers. Of course, I want to create content for them, and talking about the design circle and different things like that, but it's been interesting trying to figure out how to talk to designers and knitters on one Instagram account and provide value to both people at the same time without it being overwhelming. So I decided to go ahead and start an Instagram account. It's called Pattern Design Circle. And so now I'll focus more on helping designers there and knitters here. There will of course be crossover, because I think it's fun just to make sure both audiences still see it. That's a new development. I think that happened last week. Excuse me. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Do you have any weekend plans? What are you doing this weekend? I had shared this last week, but I will be on vacation for a couple of weeks. I leave middle of next week. So the next 2 weekly knit chit chats will be canceled. The next one, that means, let's look up the date. The next one will be 3 weeks from today. Oh, and of course I'm on my phone here, so I can't just check my calendar on my phone. Let's look up a calendar. Your son will be visiting this weekend. That's exciting. Will he just be here for the weekend? And how far away does he live? Let's see here. Okay, so the next knit chat will be February 25th. Yeah, today's the 4th. So I'll have to cancel the 11th and the 18th. I'll probably go ahead and share a bit of photos on this Instagram account, Snickerdoodle Knits. I will be at home. I'm gonna fly home to where I grew up in Montana and be with my family some, and we're doing a road trip as a family. So my spouse will be the only person missing, but he has to work. So so then I fly into Montana, I have a few days with friends and family, and then we go on road trip for a week. We're gonna go to like Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, stuff like that. And then I have a couple more days with family, hopefully be able to see my grandparents and things like that before coming back home. If he's there for 4 days, he's on military training 5 hours away near Quebec City. I see. Well, I'm so glad he's gonna be home for 4 days. That'll be really good. Happy vacation. Yes. It's always funny. I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna have a vacation. I'm gonna take time off, right? I'm gonna actually make myself have a break. It'll be so good. And then as I get closer and closer to vacation, I start thinking, oh, I could do this while I'm on vacation. I could work on this project, and then suddenly I have like 20 things I could do on vacation that would make it not vacation. So, yes, we'll see what all actually gets done. But in the meantime, I have to get some stuff done for the book collaboration to get it out to designers so that they can then decide if they're actually contributing or not. And then like submissions will be open while I'm gone and stuff. And what else? Oh, I'll start talking more about the Innermood Shawl on my Instagram account too, so that it's not. I wanted to wait until today for the yarn shop, because this is technically the start of their birthday celebration, to start sharing about it. So I'll probably start talking about it next week, but I'll share more about it. Let's see here. What else? Oh, I hosted a giveaway like almost 2 weeks ago that I need to draw a winner for. But yeah, otherwise it feels like, wrapping up a bunch of ends before I leave, and trying to not plan too much work for myself. Next week we also have, inside of the design circle, our creativity burst, which is every quarter we have a creativity burst that's a week long. I've created design prompts to share that folks then follow, like my, I guess it's like my signature thought journey process, the way that I encourage folks to approach my design prompts, that leads them on a thought journey instead of going straight into a design idea, because I find that can kind of help create more creative juices, get the creative juices flowing. But then, so yeah, I create a design prompt for each week, and then we meet live and we work through the prompt, and then at the end we share our ideas. And I think it's so fun because it's like everybody kind of goes on a different journey and ends up with a different design idea, but we all started at the same place. So that's happening next week. That'll be a lot of fun. What else is coming up? I feel like everything is just right now. It's a book collaboration. That's what I've been living and breathing for a few weeks now. So it'll be exciting to get that kind of up and running a bit and making more progress as far as getting more people involved and making some final decisions. Let's see. There's something else I was just going to say, but I don't remember. Do you have any trips coming up? It was like last year, we usually don't go on a whole lot of vacations. We'll go visit family and stuff, and usually do some work while we're away. But this year, I decided to really make it a goal to actually set aside vacation time. So it's been fun, it's good. But it does kind of feel like I just got back from vacation because we went and met our new nephew a few weeks ago. And now I'm going to go see my family. But it'll be good. Oh, now it's bothering me. What was I going to say? I don't remember. If anybody else hopping on wants to share what they've been knitting on recently, let us know. Yarn colors and patterns and things like that. I am working on my Maema Cardigan, which is still a baby project, but it's just this fun textured panels and stuff on the cardigan. And I'm excited to have a cardigan to wear. It might be middle of summer or later before I actually get it done. Maybe I'll have it done in time for fall. Here in North Carolina, our summers are quite warm. So if you're outside, a cardigan doesn't make sense. But my spouse usually has the AC on, so sometimes I can still wear cardigans and things inside. I'm usually a cold person. I'm almost always cold. But so it makes sense that I knit, right? I just have to knit the kinds of things that I need then, which I've decided is a lot of cardigans and pullovers. I think that's perfect for what I need on a day-to-day basis, because I kind of only wear accessories like shawls and hats and things when I go out. I don't really wear shawls that much at home. Sometimes, but not a lot. So I like to have something just quick and easy to pull over my head. Keep me warm. But was there anything else I was going to share? This one might be a shorter knit chit chat again this week. But I always enjoy it when you come join. I love it. I love connecting. I've shared this a few different times, but something I really wanted to focus on this year was connection and compassion and collaboration, and so that's why I've been doing these weekly knit chit chats, so I can connect with you, and it's been a lot of fun. Also, I think I'm not doing the right thing with my pattern right now. My pattern. I'm not looking at my pattern, and I'm not knitting correctly, is what I'm trying to say. Not following the pattern instructions. I don't think I had too much else to share. I'm trying to think. Seems like there's been so much going on, but I guess it's mostly just been book stuff. Do you have any questions for me? What's been on your plate? I'm happy to sit around and chat longer if you have anything to talk about. I'm trying to think. It's maybe not as easy when I can't see you. I feel like there was more stuff I should be talking about, but I guess maybe we'll just keep it short and sweet. Again, the next call will be 3 weeks away. It won't be until March 25th Friday, March 25th, same time, same place, 4:00 p.m. Eastern, on my Instagram live. What made you decide to collaborate for a book? That is a good question, Marie-Elise. Basically, I always have 10 million ideas, and I want to follow through with all 10 million ideas. And one of those ideas was a book collaboration. And so I shared it with people, and they also were excited about it. And so I just felt like it was something that, needed to happen, even though maybe it didn't need to happen. Okay, so part of it was I had decided, it would be really fun when we have the design along inside the design circle, which is, it's a month long every year, where we're all designing, and like we meet on Zoom calls, and we can just share part of our design process and what we're working on, and ask questions, and just like kind of get a sneak peek in each other's processes, and just connect on more about designing, I guess. So that's where that started. And then I was like, if we want to do a book, we could basically design the patterns together at the same time in the design along, and we would have like multiple checkpoints each week where we're looking in and seeing how each design is going, and see how everything's working together, and like we're really collaborating and like designing together. And so then the design along for this year is April, so next month, it's the whole month we'll be working on. And so I had in my mind that we could do a book collaboration through that. And so that's kind of why I started spearheading it in January, really. But I have one of my friends, fellow designer, also in the design circle. We've been bouncing ideas off of each other since I first had the idea, which was actually the first day I opened the doors to the design circle back in September. Everybody joined. People were starting to join, and I was starting to think about collaboration ideas, because I really wanted to do more collaboration with fellow designers. I wanted the design circle to be a hub where people could find people to collaborate with. And so I was thinking about collaboration ideas, and I had the idea of putting a book together as designers. And so anyway, I shared it there the first day of the design circle, and this friend, she saw it, and we've been talking about it ever since. She has more experience than me on publishing, and so she was sending me all sorts of numbers of what to expect for printing and all of these different things. So that just ignited the idea. It's probably not safe to encourage me with an idea unless you want it to actually happen, because I get very excited about my ideas and have a hard time letting them go. So yeah, then I really started working with folks inside of the design circle, and people were interested. We started talking about how we wanted to move forward with it as far as themes, and then because we kind of have a overarching theme for everything in general. So it started as, okay, let's create a book, right? And then we met, and it's like, okay, maybe it's a lot to do 20 patterns at once for our first kind of collaboration like this. And so we decided maybe it would be easier to split it up into 4 issues. So it's actually, I guess it's 4 books, but it's also kind of mini books. So it'd be seasonal publications. So rather than having to have 20 patterns ready for the first release, we only have to have 5 patterns for the first release. But then, of course, logistically, there's a bunch more stuff happening behind the scenes, so it's not 100% that way. But anyway, that's kind of where it started. And, once I started working on it, I haven't stopped working on it. Pause due to poor connection. Okay, I think it's connected again. It's one of those things where I think it's interesting way to collaborate. Like, we see books and magazines and stuff that are usually created by, these larger companies. Sometimes they're young companies, sometimes they're just publishers. But they're these large companies that then pay designers for their designs a flat fee. And it's not like the designer is really collaborating in that process. It's more like they submit their idea. If it's accepted, then the designer then creates the design and sends the pattern. And that's kind of the end of the collaboration from my understanding. Like folks have talked about how, in a lot of cases, designers aren't even getting royalties or anything. So when the publication is out, it's not like the designer has a lot of incentive to really share that publication a lot until they have rights back to their pattern. Anyway, I guess it's I find it really an interesting idea the way that we're going about this, because it really is more of a collaboration between designers. That means then the designers have to invest more in the project, but they'll also have direct access to any profit that comes from it or anything like that. So obviously it's something new. We don't know exactly how it's all going to pan out. We're still, kind of not sure how much I should share because I don't know how much this is going to change. But that's where we're at right now. There's still more decisions to make and everything. But yeah, that's why I decided to start a book, and kind of how it's going forward. Lots of different parts to it that are just exciting. I guess another part of why a book, as a designer, I find it an interesting possibility to get into new audiences. So like if we print the book and get it into yarn shops and stuff like that, that is a different audience than a lot of us designers are reaching. So just different possibilities and stuff there, but there's a lot of logistics to it and everything. Does anybody else have any other questions? Actually, it looks like Maria Elise might be the only one left. Maria Elise, do you have any other questions? Yeah, I could obviously keep talking about this forever. We've had several multiple hour calls just planning everything and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different facets to it, but nope, no more questions. It's been very interesting because it's, just learning about, we're being reminded of how collaborations work and what works well and what doesn't work well in a collaboration setting. And then even just learning everything about what it takes to publish a book and, understanding all of the timelines and things like that. So it's been a lot of fun. But I think I'll go ahead and sign off here. I like to have one little thing to share. I wrote my notes like 2 minutes before I hopped on, so I'm sorry it's not very elaborate, but my message is more what a message for myself right now in this week, or for multiple weeks now. I've been realizing, I have a million ideas. I can't actually follow through physically with all million ideas at the same time because unfortunately time limits are a thing. There's only 24 hours in a day and such. So I've been thinking it's really important for me to go back to my priorities and what's actually most important to me. What do I actually want to be spending my time on? So my message was, choose what's important to you and don't worry too much about the rest. Sometimes it can be easy to get caught up in all the weeds of everything happening, but remembering, what is the most important to you. That's where you probably want most of your energy going. That also made me think of, did want to just acknowledge what's happening in the world. There's a lot of stuff happening that isn't so pleasant, thinking of everybody in Ukraine and affected there. It's easy to feel like there's not much we can do, but we can keep sharing and supporting and sending love and sharing compassion, giving big hugs. So yeah, I didn't think too much about what to share there, but I hadn't thought of it at all until I just now said it. So that's not the most eloquent way to say it, I know, but it is in my thoughts a lot, and just reminds me how important it is to keep supporting each other and and being compassionate, things like that. But so last thing always is to remember you're on your own journey. So I want you to make sure you enjoy your journey. And as always, I'm sending big hugs to you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks if you joined me live, and thanks if you're watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, of course, feel free to comment down in the description or in the comments. Happy to hear from you. But I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in 3 weeks. I mean, you'll see me in the stories, my stories and stuff, but I won't see you here on Instagram Live talking about Knit Chit Chat for 3 weeks. So I'll see you then. But thank you, Mary Elise. I'll talk to you later.